Hello, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another and the beautiful Jess Maitri and Candace Co. We're just gonna play a little bit and go into flow. We already are. We're rhyming and didn't even plan it. We still have this whiteboard behind us from our last presentation, but might erase all of it and start over. We're really not sure. We're going to talk maybe just about some synchronicities, talk about some new energies that have kind of landed, how we've all been feeling and navigating these energies. Maybe we'll throw in a little astrology, gene keys, and we might do a little channeling. We'll see what we feel called to do. So bring in the guides. Where do you want to start?
Oh, that was nice. When you said the guides thing, I'm like, yeah, let's bring them in.
All
Yeah.
right. Maybe we can start with that. Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
I was just going to say what Candace and I were we could start where we were ripping a minute ago was that what we're saying no to right now is actually our yes. And Candace was calling it our holy no's. So like what we are choosing, not only energetically, but with our words and our actions is actually opening what it feels like is a whole new harmonic of this new frequency. And I also hear the word platform for some reason. Maybe we can start there, but I hear a new platform that's now actually anchoring and supporting everything we've ever wanted.
And as you say platform, I was hearing like platinum. We've
Mm-hmm.
got platinum. It's a platinum form. And we were saying before we hopped on here that it's been right under our nose this whole time. And it's like it's been right under our holy no. And as we start saying no in this way that is so true that it just unlocks the next and it aligns us to that nexus experience where it's like you almost have your own lineup. You're not in the same lineup because it doesn't take as much time as it would take if you were just seeing and thinking and being in the old state.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the word rarefied keeps coming up. It's like we are in a rarefied experience. It's a rarefied jewel, a rarefied individual. The quality of these experiences that we're having now, the tonality that's coming through us, we're being called to capture it and create mementos of it. So it's like take a picture of the radiance. It's gonna bring the definition of the word selfie to a whole other level because you're just capturing the essence and the radiance and you're in this sweet love affair with life. It's all a divine affair and it's a fair play and it's fair grounds. Fair even it's this wisdom that just exudes and it makes peace and it makes light. It's not heavy, but it's powerful.
I was hearing said, I can't remember the word you used, but then I heard catalytic. And then I think this has come through before, but catalytic converter. So we're converting with my throat again. We're becoming catalytic converters of this energy, which brings me back to what we were speaking of earlier, which is truth, being the truth, moving through us, and we're catalyzing and converting the truth through our own structure, our own bodies, how we walk in the world, how we speak. And that comes back to our nose. Like the nose makes space to convert the truth through our essence. And it just opens up that harmonic.
So beautiful. Something else we were getting was like these new hydraulics. Like we've been given these new hydraulics and to lift like we've got a lift kit on our being and it's like hydra water raw hydraulics in awe like it's just all of these different elixir hydraulics.
Phaedra. Remember Phaedra?
Well, and it's like our own hydra what's that CERN collider I'm
Hadron.
our
The
own.
Hadron Collider?
Yeah, it's like we are the Hadron Collider. We are the colliding scope. We are the dreamers. We are the particles. We are,
Particulates.
yes, we are choosing what to create this combustion with, what components. And it's like we are starfire, we are the juice, and it's like squeezing the grapes and making the wine, making the elixir. And Carrie and I had a really phenomenal synchronicity yesterday at the beach when our dear sister Alasa had to go somewhere, and it was just her and I. Immediately, another woman came in to create the trine. We've been trining this whole trip. There's
That's
always
so
been like a third energy that comes in when one leaves, and she gave
Usually
us,
it's the three of us.
yes. Well, and yes, there's a whole other story there. Like we've been, upgrading our particles and our components, and when we come back together in our fusion chamber, it's just gonna be like, woo, okay,
Whole new world.
whole new world and a whole new stool and our legs and so yes, we had another woman come in, and she was listening to a podcast of these neuroscientists and doctors and things that had made this discovery, and she was sharing with us that one of the most important findings and discoveries was that we make light. They were talking about how we are light and how we make light. We're recognizing that as human beings and our natural biology and components, we actually make and produce light. And there's something about that that's very important, which goes into pack light and make dew, holy dew, the holy water. That's the squeezing of the grapes. That's these hydraulics that we have. As every breath that we take, we're squeezing in love and making light, making wine, making this good stuff.
As you were saying pack light, I was seeing the wolf pack. And but there's more to that. There's something about like us, wolf pack. We're finding our pack and we're creating even more light. And then I see the grid and the web again. And gosh, that grid still coming in big time.
You're saying grid, I'm seeing grapes. I'm
Yeah.
seeing the grapevine and like grapes all over it. We are the grapes, and which is the grid. The grape, you can see the grid is like a big vineyard of these beautiful grapes that are hanging, and they're luscious and they're full of this plasmic juice. That's us. We are the grapes in this divine elation. And the byproduct of our being and our squeezing and our being in delight and just letting that ooze out creates new things in the reality structure that we were witnessing has a direct influence on the environment.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere we went, there was like beings that were curious about us, wanting to talk to us, play with us. It was like we were pulling things into ourselves and creating this juicy flow.
Yeah, I'm also, noticing that as well as repelling things really quickly too. So like when we start to really embody this juiciness, it's like we get the magnetic matches and we also get the really hard nose.
Yeah.
It's not even a maybe anymore. It's not even a
Right.
gray. There's no gray area anymore.
No hesitation. We can feel that alignment in the core of our being because it's a sound resonance. And as we recognize ourselves as a sound resonance chamber, when a sound comes into our body and it's in dissonance, it just gives itself away immediately.
Yeah.
We can hear when people speak to us, the resonance in their voice. It's almost like I can access all the pressure points of stress in their body. Just speak to me and let me see where it is that we need to release.
Yeah.
Or from where you're speaking, from the quality of your tone.
And then
it shows where it will tell you who is the pure of heart. We can hear the pure of heart.
Yeah.
And the sweet, beautiful woman that we were speaking to, and she may even be watching this video because we connected with her. And she was just like, "Who are you?" And we were like, you know, "Well, we're you. We are what's inside of you, and you wouldn't be interacting with it if it wasn't wanting to be interacted with.
Right.
The fact that you're here, you called us in just as much as we called you in. And you can hang even though you don't quite understand what we're exactly saying because we have our own dialect. You can feel it, and that purity was running through, and the hugs that we were giving each other and the love that we were creating in this first interaction with this beautiful soul. It was divine. It was just it was heaven on earth.
Mm. I sense this massive shift where logic and understanding from the mind is really not working, and it's really discombobulating for people. And so it's like the feeling is the truth, the resonance is the truth, but people are still used to operating from the other space, and it's really causing some discord.
Right. And some of us have been like in this state, and then we kind of like remember what we were doing before. So then we try to use the same logic, and it doesn't.
Doesn't work.
Immediately it gets kicked out, and then you get rerouted back into this new playing field.
Mhm.
So it's just like it's fortifying itself
Yeah.
and anchoring in, and it just is now. It's so beautiful.
Care Bear, I feel like we should make space for you to say something.
Oh,
I'm just taking it all in.
She's
the
gonna
energy-
rip in a second, so she's
Yeah,
just
she's gonna
she's letting
go.
it build. Do you have to let it linger?
Do you have to?
Do you have
Music. But go ahead. Please, Jess, yeah.
Oh, coming back to what you mentioned earlier, Carrie, about maybe inviting our guides in, I just want to speak out loud. Like, for sure, the Amazon women or Artemis is here with me and here with us. And so kind of just wanted to acknowledge that. So if there's anything that wants to come through that, they're here. They're circling us, actually.
Ooh, and I'm seeing the vision of that giant woman that you saw on the beach.
All right, so let's backtrack up.
I just have, woo, oh God, okay.
So it's interesting, and we'll go back onto this a little bit. So we're gonna go a little divine feminine right now. We're gonna drop into that big energy, because what I was seeing as you girls were talking, I drew a voice box here, but I was called to draw an X with a circle in the middle and a cube, but that's maybe geometry that's coming in for a download. But oh yeah, the Wonder Woman bracelet.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
This was in the clouds. I have a picture of this.
Oh man, that was another thing.
Yeah, this showed up in the clouds in that storm that we were in.
So I have like
we haven't even talked about that.
No, we've got, so there's so one thing I want to touch on briefly. I want to talk about, well, okay, let's drop in with Amazon women and Artemis and all this. So there's been a lot of synchronicities coming up, and I think this has to do with that voice of no.
Yes.
We're utilizing this, and it doesn't have to just be for women. It's an actual energy of this divine strength in voicing and feeling into the voice of others. So essentially we're in this space, and I don't even like to just tune into one chakra or one energy center, because I do feel like what we talked about before, they're all online. They're all working together as one. However, there are moments where certain aspects come through in a much stronger resonance or energy. And I think it's that higher heart thalamus, or is that
The thymus, yeah.
thymus, thank you. Thymus, oh, that's hypothalamus. Anyways, but this whole upper level is just lighting up for a lot of people. So it's actually becoming easier for us to say no, to understand where we want to go with our energy. It's almost like I don't want to give any energy to that anymore. It just doesn't line up, like you were saying. So I think that rolling in with that, there's something coming up from this depths of, now I think of time. So I think of time as this spiral, and I always see these oscillating bands, and I erased it, but I was drawing those triangles that were kind of merging in together. So when we get close to another reality that's either I don't want to call it a parallel reality, but another timeline that is a reflection of this timeline that's like, well, it's not quite this timeline. Maybe let's say Atlantis, or let's say the Amazonian, whatever's, that's bleed through. So I feel that we're getting a bleed through energetically with this very empowering kind of giant, oh, I'm getting goosebumps everywhere.
For
And
sure.
so we had done and I want to hit on the synchronicities that when you're in flow, you're in flow. And we'll get to that in just a minute. Oh boy, that's a whole other synchronicity. Okay, so that's one thing, bleed through. So I was doing a little energy work with Alasa on the beach, and I was so grateful that she allowed me to just kind of play. And the three of us were kind of just dropped in. And I was working, Candace was holding space and singing, and Alasa was opening and just kind of going in her space. And we were on Honeymoon Beach, on the west coast of Florida, and it's beautiful. It's
In
magical.
the causeway.
In the causeway.
It's called the causeway.
The causeway. Like, let's just play with that for a moment.
Right.
And as I was working on her, my eyes were closed, and I saw this huge woman, like out of the ocean kind of thing. Have you ever seen like what is the Lady of the Lake?
Yes.
Kind of that
Comes
whole.
out of the ocean.
I was just like,
Tahiti from Moana.
oh yes, I
Yes.
forgot about that.
Yes.
Then they said it's like Moana. I mean, I was just blown, and she was just standing there. I could see her in my eye, and I was just like, this is this is big.
That's a no.
It was amazing. And then you were having all those synchronicities with these Amazonian women, which I kept thinking, oh, and this whole parallel reality. Think about the whole Wonder Woman story.
Yeah.
You were kind of having these synchronicities for, well, I was with out of body experiences and seeing land that doesn't exist, but it does. I'm like, there's probably places and spaces that are just held within this resonance. You can't see it. But all of a sudden, we're going to start seeing it. These places are going to start showing up, and we're going to be like, where did that come from? It's been here the whole time.
Right under our nose.
Right under our nose.
Oh, but simultaneously, we're going, I don't know that we're all going to be there at the same time. So some of us are going to be able to see all of that and others aren't. And we're still going to be able to be mixing
I
with
love that.
the different dimensions, right?
We are creating this massive chamber, this beautiful crystalline cathedral. It's like a chandelier, and we are all the points of this chandelier, and all the points of lights are each on their own frequency. And so, but the fact that we're all creating this chain reaction and this chain of events and this sequence, it's just like taking that golden light and bringing it into every dimension of possibility here. And it's all perfect. You know, we're all arriving in perfect time within the framework of that chandelier. And
Yeah,
this
that
is
reminds
the
me.
bleed through. This is the bleed through. This is the colliding scopes of reality as it's spiraling through time, as all of these dimensions and places are oscillating within their own frequency bandwidth. And as we come into this moment of oneness and unity, we just access all of the songs of creation, and we sing with all of the songs of creation. And it's like, what radio station would you like to listen to today? And as you listen to that radio station, it's going to come into your reality. And it's all about the tone, and it's all about the sound, and it's all about you conducting and choosing that sound. And it's like, hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on. And who did we speak to yesterday? A holy DJ in the sky.
So I gotta go backwards really quickly. We're gonna share some of the magical experiences, and then we're gonna rein it in with how this is applicable. And Jess, I know you'll rip on that. But and I want to get back to Artemis. We're not gonna forget that Artemis is here. Whoop whoop. And the lovely ladies that are attached to her. So I was in the water, and the woman that we met, Arlene, she was in the water as well, kind of, you know, a little bit spaced out and away from us, spaced out maybe, I don't know, but she was on her phone. she had her phone, she was holding her phone up above the water. We were kind of like at chest height. And I'm like, what? I thought she was talking with someone, but she was listening to a podcast. And I thought, that's kind of funny, listening to a podcast while you're standing in the ocean, right? So I thought, I need to go talk to her. I need to get closer. I need to hear what this podcast is all about. That's so important. That's we're in, and so I kept like coming in a little closer, and it was Andrew Huberman, the neuroscientist.
Oh, yes. Oh my God.
But here's the kicker: she's what I heard a word. It was light or something along, and I'm like, what is this? This is not your average podcast. So I was like, I need to talk to this woman. So I asked her, who are you listening to? And then she said, what caught my attention, she said Andrew Huberman. She goes, but he's got this other doctor on here. And she said, I just feel like he's light years ahead of Andrew in this way. And Andrew's great. And she said, and I went, tell me more. So we started talking, and that's when she started talking about this neuroscientist is saying we are producing this light. And she was just blown away by that. But what I found really cool, I want to just back the truck up for a moment. This led us into this hour-long connection.
Session. Beautiful
Her
reciprocity.
Her son had passed a year ago.
Son, brother,
Brother, who was a DJ.
Who was a DJ. A beautiful DJ.
And I tuned in. I was grateful to be able to tune into his energy, which I was a little, and it was this beautiful exchange of kind of trust and intimacy with a complete stranger and opening up this conversation, this vortex.
She had a white bikini on with it was like a pearlescent white.
And she makes beautiful jewelry.
Oh yeah, she makes beautiful jewelry, which I think she's going to say that she wants to start doing like conscious pieces
of jewelry.
She felt like in the midst of this divine orchestration and communion that we were having, she was like, oh, I know what I can do. Because she was talking politics and everything, and we were trying to go like, we're gonna be like inducing, we're undulating this love light into all realms, and we're not thinking our way through, we're feeling our way through, and we're gonna, we work in mysterious ways. And she was just kind of like, oh.
So it's kind of taking it all in, and it was just this incredible, and I don't necessarily think I gave her any specific information about her brother, but what came through was the energy behind it, the colors that he loved, and just his energy, and I was able to describe that, and Candace was able to kind of see some things that just made her feel at peace a bit, maybe, with it, expansive.
It was just so beautiful.
And us too.
It was just as much a gift for us, maybe even more of a gift for us than for her. I don't know if you can say that, but just like what happened was she was, there was an invitation, do you want us to connect with him? Because she's like, I don't know why I just told you about my brother. And we were like, well, can we connect to him together? And she was just, yes, immediately tears. And so we just created this safe, beautiful space. And then immediately I saw a white rainbow, a white arc of light above, like a smile, like his smile was this rainbow of white light. And it was like all good. It's all good. Like it was just like this celestial smile and hug. And then it was pretty stormy in ways around us. There was like lightning coming down, but just above her, above us, there was like a heavenly space in the clouds. And then, we'd talk a little bit, and then I'd hear, look up, almost like I'm right here. Like it's all, I've got you. I've got this rainbow around you. It's all good. Like that's how close I am. I'm here. We're here. And it was showing just how close all of these dimensional bands are. And we say the other side, but it's like, not really. It's not really there isn't really an other side. So just feeling the sound waves and just like, oh, we really are not alone. And we're so much bigger than we've ever imagined. And it was like, Dr. Joe Dispenza, we are these batteries of consciousness. What do you want to fuel? because you're the fuel, you're the energy that fuels reality. So really harness that power and come in. And the theme of when we went to go see Alasa was like, welcome, you have arrived. All of you has arrived. Do you see how big you are? Are you ready to be big and bright and walk the way and show others that we can arrive fully? We're not sorry. We are. And it's just like this whole beautiful, powerful attunement of a commandment. And the commandment is the choice to be fully. And in that discovery, it teaches you as you're listening, as you're in that frequency, like we're just learning. And it's not the same rules. Not at all.
And we're learning.
No.
We don't even know all the rules yet.
No.
We're just
No.
figuring them
Creating
out.
them.
Actually, we're creating them as we go.
Right. The message, another message is we are in the making.
Yes.
We are in the making. And it's like, don't hook, don't latch, don't over define, don't even judge at all. Just be like, it's like that beautiful curiosity. And then you're in the tone that you choose. Just like this session that we were all doing, Carrie was doing her own sound, I was doing my own sound, Alasa was doing our own sound. We were in a ceremony, but we were all in our own surround sound of choice. And every now and again, they would culminate together in a cool way, and then it would like break off into our little sovereign choices.
I'm kind of getting, in addition to that, is because we are becoming this magnetic, that we really can activate people and I don't mean to say change people, but like there is kind of a little bit of that. And I was getting this yesterday of, while it's important to be available to share this with people that are willing and ready, it's also important to remember that power, that sovereignty, like almost like be in your energy as an invitation, but almost like don't push it on people, because we can change and activate
Absolutely.
beyond
Comes with,
where.
I'm feeling the innate wisdom and discernment that comes with this energy. It is just wise and discerning. So a being that comes and enters and comes to you is asking to touch that. A being that is walking away from you is walking away from that. And you just go. And you are like that shark energy where you're going through the water and fish just move away. Things just move away. But what comes is like, okay, you can hang. Sweet, you can hang.
And sometimes we don't need to say anything.
Don't
Because
need
we
to say
can feel
anything.
just like what you're saying. It's like, all right, I don't need to say anything. We're holding space, because just like people were drawn to us when we were, they just come up and would start talking, and but sometimes we can also feel with our voice, with listening, if they want to speak, or if they want to be heard, or if they want to hear or listen to what we might have to share. It's a different kind of listening and sound. It isn't, well, I wonder what we should talk about.
It's not from here. Sound behind the sound.
Complete new navigation.
Yeah.
New now, new knowing.
Yeah.
So what about, so I didn't want to leave out I know you brought up Artemis and the ladies. Is there something you wanted to tap into with that, Jess?
They kept saying, keep your eyes on the prize. I see them with their arrow, just like keep your focus, ladies, not just us, but divine, like focus. And that's kind of everything right now, and what we give our attention to, and honing in on that, and only giving our bliss, if you will, to what we want. And there's such power in that.
That's the don't cast your pearls to swine.
I think you said that last time too,
I did.
Jess.
Yeah.
Coming up again.
Yeah. And that's the discernment, is that you know when to let go and gift and drop those pearls. It's like, you know, the clam knows, she knows, once she knows.
The grapes are pearls too.
Yeah.
So I see these grapes as the grapes. I'm just seeing that as bubbles.
Yeah.
Bubbles of reality, bubbles within bubbles within bubbles that we're all constantly, it's like this plasma bubble that we're all connected into, and we're all sending out this energy and waves and frequency and sound. So using more of our, you brought up the shark uses its senses, its electricity. It has these extra sensory gifts of perception. We are developing that or accessing that now. So the more we can let go and walk away from what doesn't serve us in our highest joy, in our highest, if we want to call it mission here or whatever it is, it doesn't mean, by the way, I know some people I can hear like, well, I have to go to work, or I have to go to drop the kids off at school, and I hate, how the practical solution is it's little things. It's those little subtle hints. It's that little nudge that I got to ask this woman who she was listening to. I'm not necessarily a Miss Social Butterfly when I go out. I kind of keep to myself, and people usually kind of draw me out, but I feel called to be in a bigger space and to really feel into who is showing up in our bubble to interact with us. And some people will think that they want to interact, and then they'll change their minds, and that's okay too.
Yes.
Not hanging on to it. You said hooks, and not hooking into it like, but wait, I thought we were friends, or how come you don't like me? Or it's almost like, okay, it is what it is.
It is. It is. It just is. And we're trusting that isness. And when it is, we're like, it is. And I know that sounds so weird, but that synchronicity, it's alignment. It's that harmonic that just is. It's like, oh, those sound waves go together and they coalesce and they make a beautiful pattern. It is. So we're learning how to recognize what is and what isn't. Let go of what isn't. Follow what is. Keep following what is. Keep creating with what is. And what, oh goodness. Whew, yes.
Yeah. And there's going to be moments that we have that are seem very difficult because
Just
say no. Just say no to those.
No.
No power struggles. No.
No.
Just say no.
Is history. I'm calling in the seamless. We're going to be seamless, and it's going to be awesome because we are awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Oh my God. I was saying, I don't know where this is coming from, but as you were saying, don't get into the powers. I just saw like, this is your brain on drugs. And it was like fried eggs and like I have no idea who dropped that in, but I was like, yeah, that is just
It's just say no. Just say no
say
to
no.
drugs.
This is your brain on drugs. This is your brain in bliss. This is what happens when you access the ecstatic frequency of deliciousness that is within you when you are squeezing your holy grapes.
Holy grapes.
Holy grapes.
That is like new.
You are having a grape time, and
Candace,
you
that's just great.
make that sweet juice and you drink it. No, but really, we can create this beautiful love and this profound experience that is a holy moment that keeps going and going and going, and it's good vibrations, marky whatever, get it. It's sweet sensations.
I just saw Fruit of the Loom.
Balloon, yes.
I know it was Calvin Klein, but I just saw Fruit of the Loom.
Calvin
I
Klein,
love that.
what I've been talking about this whole time.
That's awesome.
What is that CK1? What was that from?
I don't
What was-
remember. Oh no, I don't know.
You're gone.
There you go. There you go.
So, well, this, and the other thing is too, I want to go back to just being in that state of flow. So,
Let's just go back.
Gonna flow, right?
Yeah, get off, Candace. That was really good. Thank you. Thank you for that one.
namaste. There's
Namaste over there
Namaste.
just for a moment. Okay.
this is turning into a real cluster.
Cluster of grapes, you ladies.
Cluster.
Oh, great goodness. Oh, holy moly, moly, moly. Okay.
Humor.
Yeah.
Keep it light. Pack light.
Make light.
Yeah.
Make light. Oh, so that was the other thing. It was, at one point I didn't really, I don't know if I said this to you or not, but at one point I thought to myself, I was in such a state of flow everywhere I went, everything that I did in every conversation and every license plate and every song. I mean, it was down to like, just where it got to the point where I was like, I had to take a step back
Yep.
and be, I was almost, I said, if I'm not just allowing it to happen, it can be exhausting.
Oh yeah, it starts to drain. For sure.
I'm hearing that song. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. That's kind of what we were doing. We were just living on this prayer. We were halfway there.
Well, part of it is just being open and saying, you know what, I'm just gonna, there's this, it has to do with abundance too, you guys. That's been coming in also. And that's a card that I think also pulled. There's something about this, and I'm hearing, this was kind of pinging on me when you did the grapes. I was hearing grapes of wrath. So it's almost like we have this, think about people like grandparents or great grandparents who went through the Depression, because that's what the book Grapes of Wrath is about. And that was actually one of my favorite books when I was it was like a required read, but it was so sad. It was just but I feel like that is something that we can close that book and we can say, you know what, that was something that we don't want to recreate ever. So I feel like there's a timeline that's associated with that, because a lot of people are in fear right now over economics and the political realm, and even the lovely woman in white at the beach, Arlene.
Yes.
There's a little bit of this, well, what if that, and for some reason, there's just this sense that is one of the bleed throughs right now.
Yeah.
Is this need to recreate.
That's the echo.
It's an old program.
Yeah. And I'm hearing let go my echo. Like let go my ego, let go my echo.
Well, that was the eggs.
Let go my ego.
The eggs are coming up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like this is your brain on drugs. Like
Right.
the echo.
And so this is our brain on bliss, and that we need to get with this new program. And that's a play on words.
I don't know. I was still
And
thinking
I'm also
about
hearing
waffles.
pro gamma, like gamma rays. We got to get with this new grammar.
The new grammar. The new way of
speaking.
speaking. The new grammar
And new
code.
programma is like programming your reality with your thoughts and your words and your actions. What's that?
This is a card that just popped out as you guys were talking.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer.
It's 4 too. The number 4,
Oh,
and it's dancer.
it is.
And then I feel like this is the pole. For some reason, like look at
Yes.
her body, the pole, and she's dancing. She's dancing around the pole.
Yes.
So it's not like we're just the pole. We are actually able to weave around it. Go ahead.
I had a dream about the 7 arrows.
Oh boy, here we go. This is
And I'm seeing,
woo.
I'm seeing this pole, and you had said the arrow and Artemis. I've always been like, what's the arrow all about? Now I deleted that, or I erased that earlier, but let's just play with that for a moment.
I just thought Sagittarius. I'm sure Candace can flow in that.
Cupid's bow and arrow, the love bow. Cupid, the arrow of love.
Yes, that's right.
So I'd drawn that earlier, which was a bow. So now I'm seeing this pole, and I'm seeing like this. I think Dan Winters actually has this in his. I gotta look that up. But I'm seeing, as you said, circling the pole, and then I just had this flashback to the dream I had about 7 arrows, which I'm gonna look up. But this has something to do with the 4.
Yeah.
I don't know how, well, the center, the cross. This X is a cross as well, depending on how you look at it.
Well, and in our own being, I always say X marks the spot. That's right here. That's our infinity point of power. And I want to say again, and I've said this in the last video, it's like we make our own drugs. We make our own chemicals within our body. We can create, for lack of a better word, holy, like divine chemistry within ourselves that brings us into this raptured state of elation. And we're learning how to function within that without just being like totally loop-de-loo, I can't get anything done. We go up, we get that state, and then we come back down and we like breathe in, and then we like go back up, and we're cultivating a power within that mechanism of creating those ascension chemicals that ascend the quality of understanding, understanding, awareness, discernment, wisdom within the living structure of your body, so that your body becomes an instrument of conducting to the pristine degree and quality that you want to. I love you.
Care Bear.
Hit me then. Wow. Okay. So you were just, I mean, we're all just talking. Why don't we just listen to Dan Winters? Seriously.
Or we could just let Dan.
Or we could just
take it
let
away,
him
Dan.
take it away. So
Dan.
it's exactly what we're talking about. The grapes, the squeeze. Okay. We're all talking about the same thing. And that was another message that came up, which we've all discussed, is that everybody's pulling through different pieces of this entire tapestry. It's no longer like, I am doing this over here, you are doing this over
Are you
there.
the key master? I'm the gatekeeper.
Sorry, Ghostbusters reference.
Ghostbusters.
Plasma. Plasma. Okay. So the 7 arrows is bliss, essentially. And it's a tornado. Hello.
Yeah, let me see.
But we were almost in yesterday. That looks
That's
like
the pole,
that
Jess.
looks like the sky.
That's
Dancing around the pole. That's what you're seeing.
You can see the dancer in
Oh
there.
my
You can see
God.
her.
That's exactly what I'm
tiny
So what's the 7, Care Bear?
Pardon? I don't know.
the
It's a
7?
7. I think it's something to do with the heart. So let me see.
Okay.
In my
7.
dream, we were talking. In my dream, I knew all about this. Oh boy.
When we were in the Therify at our 3 miracles, we knew everything and we couldn't hold it. We were given so much information and downloads. We were held within this like stasis of knowing, and then when you come back, you can't remember all of it. You're like trying to bring the pieces. It's like you just get this infinite knowing. It feels so right, and then you're like, where'd it go?
It was so close. It was right
It was
there.
there.
Like
Oh,
you're
no,
not
I
meant
got
to.
it.
Profound.
So,
Profound.
so we should talk about that a little bit, because we went and saw Lhasa at our 3 miracles, right? Miracle. And so that's her
highly recommend
space.
going there and
Where's Therify.
verify her
Awesome.
beautiful healing center that she's created, where she just receives you and walks you into your divine perfected state that you already are. That's just like it's like like all the nesting dolls. She just like, you can see all the layers that you exist at, and it's like, which one do you want to be? You're all of them. Yes, and that and that and that. Hello, hi. Where do you want me to see you? I receive you. And it's just, oh, it was so powerful. So beautiful.
So this book, I'm going to say everybody should read this if they have this is a book by Dan Winter, The Secret Science of Ecstasy and Immortality Implosion. And I mean, I'm just looking at this like, you know, what's funny is I think I actually bought this book and never read it.
I'm writing it down.
But anyways, or I might have read the first couple pages and I was like, what?
You're right.
Can I just get the cliff notes? Okay, so when I look up the 7 arrows of the heart, there's actually a site that I just want to kind of talk about really quick that kind of reviews. It's talking about Dan Winter's work. So 7 arrows of the heart and 7 colors of the rainbow from the hydrodynamic, right?
New hydraulics.
Right. But if I go into here it takes me into a lot of, there's through it again. Just gotta wave.
Seeing that white rainbow, how the rainbow was white, like all the colors. It was a white rainbow. They were just all one together, which reminds me of your chakras, Jess, merging into one white whole. It's like,
Yep.
I was trying to get an easy description, but I think it has to do with heart implosion. And when we were talking in the last, I had said slip knot because I was seeing the infinity.
I was hearing that too.
So
That's the
slip knot
coherence.
is the shape that it makes actually in the shape that when you go into bliss, it's a slip knot.
Is that different than the toroidal field?
I think
Or is
it's
it-
all the same.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Well,
That's
there's a
Well, that's a good question. But here's the thing, hydrodynamic, hydrospin, we keep getting all of this information around water.
Yes.
And I was getting all kinds of information around hydrogen. Now I'm hearing hydroelectric. So that was the other thing that's happening is our bodies are, when we create, and I'm just going to go into flow right now because I'm dying to.
Do it.
Okay, when we create this hydroelectric charge, and this is a play on words, so I'm not saying that all of this is exact science. So when we create this hydroelectric charge, I'm hearing static, ecstatic, ecstasy, ecstatic, X marks the spot. When we create this hydroecstatic electric hydronosphere, we actually create a charge, and I'm hearing discharge. So I kind of want to play with that because I know that we talk about leaking charge and all of that, but the guides are playing with this wordology because what we're doing is we're sending out a signal. So we're discharging and we're letting go of things we don't need. We're like, all right, you're discharged, boom. So that's a play on words. And we're essentially, in all of our senses, creating a spark of reunification and excitation, good vibration, right? That is allowing us to channel that pull, that center, and it's through, I'm hearing your stuff, Jess, ecstatic dance, right? It's this dance that we create that is literally reunifying us, PHI, with this deeper essence. That's the spark, that's the coil, that's the juice, that's the squirt, that's the energy, that's the drip, that's the pine cone, that's the honey, kind of. Yes. So it's an actual quantum, it's a quantum stimulation then. So it stimulates everything within the body, but it's so much more than that. And if we are all doing this together, in our own way, at our own time, throughout the day, following this, I'm getting goosebumps, following this this arrow, right? We're following where it leads. We're following where our heart leads. We're following that direction rather than, I'm seeing people tripping over their own feet to try to figure out where they need to go next. It's all up here. And I do it too. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I just dropped out of my alignment. And then I'm seeing the wobble happens then, right? Otherwise, we've got this perfect spin ratio. We've got this perfect spin. We've got our tornado. All of a sudden, we're like, whoa. And then we spin out, or we become spun out, and we end up getting sucked into someone else's story, whatever it is, that is not necessarily, and I'm hearing negentropic, like it's negative. It's like changes our charge. So we are in charge of our charge, and we are being called to isolate in the sense, isolate, folate, isolate, iso, something about that.
Yes, island.
Isofolate, island, ISIS. Okay. So essentially, and I'm also seeing the ice in the water, the snowflakes. Yep. What snowflake do you want to create? What is your pattern?
Parentheses.
Oh, yes.
That's what this is.
Yes.
We're in that isolation period, if you will. To
isolate.
Yes.
Ooh.
There's like,
so late. I'm running late. But this is no late. There's no time.
Right.
So we're not running behind. It becomes this state of flow. And then we do actually interact with time differently. Like yesterday, I thought we were going to be late, and Ray made this beautiful dinner, And I'm like, oh no, and we ended up making really good time, even with
Such
that
good
massive
time.
storm that caused us to be stuck in traffic. And I mean, we were like a half hour earlier than I thought we would be.
Amazing.
That energy in that storm was outrageous. But so what I'm seeing is we're collaborating like the three of us are doing. We're having fun. We're sharing our visions. This is a co-creative, you know, our ancestors did this around the fire, right? Everything was done in a group connection and on the land. So we're being called to do this in the ocean, on the beach,
Yes.
in the mountains.
We were like
Yeah.
squishing our feet into the sand, like just like the grapes, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
intimate, really merging with it. And it's that avatar, it's that connective. You know, when we see that movie Avatar, we're like, oh, you know, oof, I miss that. I know that that's possible. And we do that with our aura. We do that with our bliss charged radiant plasma that oozes out of the production of our light and our divine revelation that just happens inside of us. And life responds to it. Like when we were visiting the turtles today, we were visiting the tortoises, and just you feel nature on a whole other level. It's sensual. It's not sexual. It's just this sensing that is so beautiful, and it causes you to want to just take care. You want to be a caretaker. How could you hurt anything in this frequency? You care. You're there. You're in this beautiful state of awareness where you treasure and you cherish life. And it's just, that's the whole new world, and that's the platinum form that we're going to be informing reality from and through and as and with.
And we're collaborating not with the future anymore. We're collaborating with the present only, which is like the feet in the sand, which is like the sinking down into the earth, meaning only collaborate with what's here now. That's it. Only those elements is what I'm hearing. The elements of now is like part of what makes that soup for now. We're not like the old way of manifesting is like envision what you want and bring it to you and all this stuff. And I don't know if that works anymore, but it doesn't feel resonant as you pull. For me, it doesn't anyway. If I'm pulled into this is the only thing that actually exists. So that's how we move now.
And and as you were saying that, I was hearing, I am what I want. And it's like really pulling into that. I am what I want. I am what I want. And it's just like, and that's the wave collapsing back into itself and building momentum that creates this magnetism that you are what you want, and then it just appears in your reality because you are. I am.
I am.
Oh, we've been in mad pirate flow.
Nice. That's funny. I saw a Captain Jack license plate this morning.
Welcome to the Caribbean, love.
Right? I know.
You know that I'm in bliss charge radiance when I look like a pirate.
It's like, arr.
When I'm really happy and overjoyed, I close one eye and I just like lean in, and that's the squeeze. I'm making wine. I'm opening the wine bottle.
She's crushing it.
I'm crushing.
Crushing it. That's right.
It's actually coconut rum.
Oh man. There was another topic that, well, it's funny because all of this is, and we're in this space of, as we kind of co-create in this way, that's more like you said, just now. There's something to that, because I still like the idea of envisioning what I want. That's something that feels good to me. But that may not feel good for you right now. But it's done in a different way, I feel.
Yeah, I'm hearing it's the same thing. You can be in it and just it is, and then it's almost like the dream emerges from the essence and the aura of your just being stationed within that. Or you can have kind of like this this foreplay experience where you're like letting that energy run through your body, and then you're fantasizing with it from this beautiful place of like creation. This would feel good. That would be amazing. I can see myself doing that. Ooh, yeah, that's nice too. And surprise me.
And like you said, Jess, you're not like trying to pull it to you.
No, it's just
That's
like
the difference, I feel.
It's
It's
a
that
different-
there's no agenda anymore.
no
Like,
agenda. It's just
I
all
need-
play. It's foreplay, and that's the four.
I was just gonna say that.
That's the four. It's
Yeah.
foreplay, and creating with all the directions.
I know I'm gonna get some information about these shapes later. I'm like feeling all this information that's very wordplay and quantum kind of coming online, but that might be a different video. Or not.
I just keep seeing a rose just unfolding.
A rose.
Out my third eye right now.
Yeah. I think that's at 7 arrows too. That's what they're talking about. Maybe that's how many times it's like, it's probably the physics behind it. I'll have to play with that a little bit because there's more. And
Right?
whatever you're doing over there.
She's milking the honey and she's,
just got stabbed. Woo-hoo. Let me just get back into my body for a moment. Shoot. We should that cute little video of that little girl.
So good.
The lipstick puts her lip. Anyways. There. Oh well. I mean, the flow state. That's another thing. By the way, I have never seen someone in so much flow as Alasa. I was just like,
is the flow. The
flow
flow is strong
queen.
with that one.
She was just like everything.
Her holy eye, like her beautiful holy eye, just peers from the top of her crown. I mean, in the cave of wonders.
Brahma.
It looks at you through you, and I was just like, I'm here. It just peeled all of the what it like. I was like, yeah, I can do that too. I too am that. Transference.
We talked.
She gave me permission, and I fully embraced
Let it rip.
what she was representing, and just let it, like, it just unfurled, and I was like, yep, this is the way.
Beautiful.
And we can do that to whatever degree we feel comfortable and we feel guided, that feels right to us.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's the chandelier. We're each holding different pieces of that architecture, that spiraling, cascading caduceus of light energy that comes from the highest dimension into this physical dimension. And we're all linking up and creating this spiral corridor staircase of awareness and the highest consciousnesses possible that can distill into physical reality and still function to a capacity where we're productive, but we're actually also recreating the whole concept of what it means to be productive, and what it means to be valuable, and what it means to be appreciation, reciprocity. Like with these greater levels of energy, we are going to become new architects as we co-create and architect and recraft our reality. We've got full permission to go, that doesn't work anymore. Swipe to the left. Swipe to the left.
I'm hearing produces.
Oh, I thought that's a dance. That's funny. You showed that.
Oh yeah, well, hey,
Swipe
maybe
it
it does
away.
in
Why not?
your synchronicity. It might, because you can take. This is something I think it's important to talk about this, to kind of ring it in a little bit. Like, we're in this mad state of flow. What have we been doing, right, to feel this? Well, we've been feeling life.
We've been feeling life.
It's not like we're sitting here just going to the beach all the time and sitting in the Therify equipment and working with our brothers and sisters constantly in that way. But we do it through feeling and being aware of what we're feeling in every. I'm getting goosebumps because, again, you've got to rein it back into the keep it simple, right? Or the practical. Like, we're like, hi, but this is something that it takes paying attention to.
Yep.
It takes us noticing
Yes.
and recognizing and looking for the magic. Not like, where's it going to be next, future tripping, but when something shows up in front of us, appreciating what's showing up in front of us, even if it's a penny on the ground.
And let it excite you. Let it bring you into elation.
Yeah.
Receive the gift that life is. Just like, oh, thank you. Can't wait for the next one.
Juicy grapes.
Juicy grapes. Like,
That's right. It's like a snowball, but like it's
eating
growing.
little miracles, and
Yeah.
we're tuning ourselves and our awareness to pick up more miracles. Like, we know now what they look like, what they feel like, what they smell like, what they taste like, and we're just creating these new interactions.
Yep.
And that's the currency exchange. We're just exchanging bliss and plasma. That's why, at the beach it was like, let's hug a little longer. Let's transfer this energy. And when you're in this state, you can just bring it everywhere, at the grocery store, while you're driving, while you're in a meeting, while you're washing the toilet, while you're nursing a loved one. It's not unpractical. It is the joy of life. It is the zest of life. And it's this sweet spot. And once you're there, it doesn't actually really matter what you're doing anymore, because you're in so much joy. And then that activates an even higher level of service. It's like, when you're helping, you're really helping. You're not just like, oh, I'm going to help you because you're my friend, so I'm going to help you move this bed. You're like, we are in this together. And like, we're going to be moving this bed, but it's like the helping is like more powerful, more beautiful, more loving. I don't know. Wow.
It's all about the intention that we bring to the moment, and then the intention brings us. Yeah, it's that simple.
When you said bed, I was saying, is it Mary Poppins where they all fly on that bed?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like the magic carpet.
Right, exactly.
Also, bed knobs and broomsticks.
Bed knobs and broomsticks, that was the one.
Yeah.
Bed knobs and broomsticks.
And I loved Mary Poppins.
Oh my
and
God.
kind of like Mary Poppins. A spoonful of sugar helps the
Right.
medicine go down. And she just came in on her little umbrella, and she's like, "Yep, this is the way. Life's magical with me. I'm Mary Poppins, mother. Like, this is it." And everything kind of went like, doo-doo-doo. She helped them clean the room. She used a bit of magic, but it's just like, that's kind of, it's not impossible.
Ladies, I have to run. I'm sorry to interrupt the flow. But
No.
I have to meet another beautiful sister.
We're so pleased that we get to do this today. So special.
This
Yeah.
magic moment.
Okay, I'm gonna add it to the playlist.
Yeah,
the life playlist.
Yeah.
We love you.
Love you guys so much.
To
Okay.
be continued. Thank you everybody for tuning in and playing with us, by the way, and the beautiful Jess, the beautiful Candace, and myself, and hopefully someone found this fun, maybe even a little helpful, maybe even a little silly. I don't know.
We got you in flow.
Definitely musical. See you later.